How's it going, guys? We're back at it again with another video. Today's not a deck highlight video. Today's going to be a patch highlight video. And there's a lot to go over in the new patch, in patch 1.2. Some big buffs, some big nerfs. What we're going to do is we're going to watch the actual video Riot has released on their YouTube and Twitter. Detailing and kind of showcasing what has been touched and what has been kind of tweaked in some shape or form. I'm going to give my opinions, going to kind of talk about how I think it's going to change the meta. If it's a good buff, if it's a good nerf, and so on and so forth. But yeah, we'll look at the video first, then we'll look at the actual notes, because the notes are going to be a little bit more detailed than the video. The video is going to showcase probably the things which we really need to know. But sometimes we need to know everything, all right, when it comes to an entire deck. So anyway. Alright, so Vladimir's getting the buff. So for you guys, you can't see that. We'll make it a little bit bigger. We won't full screen it. For the way Vladimir's kind of worked in the past, Vladimir's been kind of weak in a way. Specifically because he's a 5-cost unit, or a 5-cost champion. And for what he does, and for the power which he has, it realistically isn't that great in relation to potentially the way he's built around the deck. You have to really get to the late game with Vladimir for him to be good in any shape or form. I have a pretty good Vladimir deck on the channel if you want to check it out. It's a Braum Vladimir deck because they synergize really, really well. And I feel like this new Vladimir could potentially bring back that Braum Poro deck, the Braum Vladimir deck. So the way Vladimir is changing, as you can see, for each other attacking ally, deal 1 to it and 1 to the enemy Nexus. That's what it used to be. Now you're going to drain. You're not just going to do 1 damage to the ally. You're going to, and 1 damage to the enemy Nexus. You're going to actually drain 1 from the enemy Nexus. So you could potentially see some kind of crazy Neverglade Collector, Vladimir combos and have like a super drain deck. You know, I don't know. I've so many cool combos up here that I want to try out, and I probably will try out over the next coming weeks. But a full-blown drain deck could be nuts. You play to the late game, you tank maybe down to like 1-5 health, and then you just right back up again with a leveled up Vladimir. So this is a good buff. Shen's getting buffed. Good. Alright, so Shen beforehand, he was a 2-5. He's going to become a 3-5. But the ability is going to stay the same. And I feel that Shen himself, for a 4-cost champion, is pretty balanced. But remember, Shen is usually not a win condition of a deck. He's the support. He's the support pick. He's the support card in a deck. So being able to potentially have him as well as Fiora in a deck, realistically can snowball mid to late, and giving him that extra little bit of power is good. I like it. So all right, Hecarim Buff. Nice. So Hecarim, he's just getting buffed, I think, in relation to his power, which again is good. So Hecarim is a really good champion, and whenever he works, he freaking works. He can really snowball some late game decks. I've came against some really strong ephemeral decks and ephemeral orientated win cons, and with this buff to Hecarim, I feel like it's going to just make him a little bit more aggressive. Remember, Hecarim has Overwhelm, so whenever an Overwhelm card gets an extra power added on, it's not just, oh, that's actually making him a little bit better. That's technically an extra damage to the Nexus, which you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And the amount of times you've maybe potentially won or lost due to 1 Nexus damage, or even the aggregate of 1 Nexus damage per turn, this is going to kind of help those games that you maybe would have lost otherwise if you were playing a Hecarim deck. So nice. Right, Standalone's getting nerfed. Good. Demaci's getting nerfed. Good. Right, Standalone being a 3-cost is kind of disgusting in my opinion, because it's a burst spell. A burst spell giving you +3/+3. I've had a lot of Fiora decks, dead decks, just absolutely snowball from potentially turn 3 because of this card. And you're putting a lot of resources into trying to get rid of them. And they maybe have a little bit of control on the side with barrier and things like that to try and lock it down. So making it a 4 cost means that you can kind of get rid of that Zed or get rid of that Fiora a little bit earlier than potentially you would have a little bit earlier than potentially you wouldn't have been able to before. So I like this. And this is going to be the big one, guys. This is going to be the big one, which I'm happy about and sad about at the same time. Aggro Nerfs. So, if you have not played Legends of Runeterra this season, then will not have heard of an aggro deck or have seen an aggro deck. But if you've played Legends of Runeterra in any facet, in any rank game, in any game, chances are that every second game you will come against an aggro deck. You will play against this deck, and the win condition of this deck is primarily Legion Rearguard and Boom Crew Rookie. And I feel that they maybe I'll show you what they've done. So what they've done, they've reduced Legion Rearguard. Legion Rearguard's the strongest part of an aggro deck, because if they maybe have a lot of 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost units, if they have a late game comp, a late game deck, then they're not going to be able to do anything against your Legion Rearguard level 1. And you say you have the first turn, you're going to get 3 damage done. The next turn, they maybe can't defend against it. Maybe they're playing a Demacian deck, or maybe I don't know, maybe a deep deck or something like that. And then they pass the second turn. You play Legion Rearguard, and you play Legion Saboteur, right? So then in that first turn, you're doing 3 damage. The second turn, you're going to be doing 6, 7, 8. You're going to be doing 9 damage. You'll have done an absurd amount of damage in the second attack. And it's just because of Legion Rearguard. And Boom Crew Rookie is kind of nuts in the fact that it's a 2 cost unit, which gives you 2 damage to the enemy nexus every time you attack, and it has 4 health. It having 4 health is a little bit nuts. I feel like reducing Boom Crew Rookie to a 1-3 is a fantastic decision. Legion Rearguard, reducing it from a 3-2 to a 3-1, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something else with that, because he already can't block. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think below, by the way, about these patch notes. If there's anything you think they should have changed, or they could have buffed, or maybe if you think maybe some nerfs are a little bit harsh. Because I, for one, like playing an aggro deck, because the games are fast-paced, and the games are fast-paced, and it's either win or you lose in 5 minutes. And I loved an aggro deck last season, although an aggro deck last season was a little bit more strategic. For nowadays, it is all about Boom Crew Rookie and Legion Saboteur, but it'll be refreshing. It will definitely be refreshing to see what kind of comes out in the next week or so in regards to the meta. I love when new patches come out, because the meta just completely shifts, and it brings new ideas to the front, and we can start seeing a lot more kind of fresh approaches to solo queue rather than just the same regurgitated decks over and over and over and over and over again. So, the items. Hey, the items. Just going for the arcade theme. I don't know if everybody here plays League of Legends, but arcade's a big theme in League. Oh, I like these emotes, dude. The Elise one's kind of cool. The Ezreal one, I'm going to be getting that Ezreal one, and it's dropping it every time I do a spicy outplay. A big brain play to drop that Ezreal emote. The eyes. Nice. Nice. Alright. So that's the video. And this is on the League of Legends official, or the Legends of Runeterra official page, so you guys can go and look at it yourself and maybe watch it without me having to interrupt and rant over it. But yeah, we'll look at the official notes now and kind of see if there's anything on there which we've missed, or if there's anything there which is pretty spicy that we need to kind of look at and talk about. So, see. All right, so we're looking at the official Legends of Runeterra patch notes. I'll even put the link to the patch notes in the description, guys, if you want to check it out and read them yourself. So we're going to be looking at some things which they didn't detail in the 60-second video, or the whatever how long it was. And oh, there's actually already a big one that I can see right now. So Karma has had her cost increased to 5. That is actually huge, because obviously the longer you have Karma on the field, then the faster, or not the faster, but you're going to be getting more spells for free faster. So if you can put her down whenever she's a 5 cost, there's going to be 4 rounds after that, really 4 or 5 rounds after that before she becomes enlightened. So you're going to potentially lose 1 full free spell by Karma being an extra power. And I feel Karma is such a strong champion. There's a few champions in the game right now which are just absurdly strong. The combo of Lux and Karma is just unbelievable. Comboing that with the fact that Undying Spirit or Unrelenting, or can't even remember what it's called, Unrelenting Spirit or Undying Spirit, which makes them immortal. The fact that it's a burst spell as well, comboing these two things together is just nuts late game. It's insane. Yeah, the Karma cost 5 to 6. Okay. Shen, we already knew Shen's power was getting changed. Okay, Fi. While Fi doesn't offer a particularly game warping effect like some champions, he's overperforming in multiple decks due to the raw strength for baseline stats. Yeah. The Karina control deck with Vi and Lees, or Vi and Heimer, Vi Merdinger, Vi Robot. Vi is a very, very strong champion right now. She's very, very underrated as well. What counters her though is recall decks and any kind of Shadow Alice decks which have just pure kill potential, just point and click kill. And yeah, I feel like this is a pretty warranted nerf, so I like that. I like that. And it doesn't make her unusable, it just makes her a little bit more streamlined and balanced. Hecarim, we know Hecarim is getting changed, we already went over that. Followers and spells, this is gonna be a big one, guys. So we want to move some of Grizzly Ranger's former power up the curve, giving dedicated scout decks more viable options. So Grizzled Ranger is unbelievable, guys. The amount of times I've lost to just for the pure fact Grizzled Ranger does I don't know how good you guys are, or how much knowledge you guys have, but Grizzled Ranger obviously is a scout, so you can potentially play him. He's a 4/1. You don't want to get that 4/1 damage done, so you block him with whatever you have, and then he instantly attacks as a 4/4 Badger Bear, which is, it's absurd for him to only be a 4-cost unit. I feel like this is a really, it could potentially be one of the strongest 4-cost units in the entire game. So them reducing the power to a 3/1 and then Badger Bear becoming a 3/3 is good. I like this. Yeah, I feel like this is a really, really good balance, and it's still going to make him a very strong card. So, oh yeah, but anyway, we went over it. We completely didn't even look at this. So, Great Thorn Companion. This used to be a 4/5, and it's been increased to a 5/5. So, a flat 5 mana card giving you a 5/5 scout is kind of crazy. Being able to potentially attack with a 5/5 scout, because not a lot is going to be able to block that and survive. So I like that. Laurent Chevalier was a bit too fragile for its cost to realistically chase the dream of multiple triggers. It deserves a boost on its own, and we've got a good opportunity given that Demacia is seeing nerfs this patch. All right, no, I like this. I like this. They're kind of trying to streamline a lot of decks, trying to make it not where one deck rules all the way Aggro did for a while. And I think, again, I said this whenever we were looking at the video, we're going to start seeing a lot more unique takes and a lot more unique combos with these little tweaks. These little tweaks are a lot bigger than you would think, because a lot of these follower cards, like Loyal Badger Bear, even Laurent Chevalier, they are usually like a little bit of a minor win con to help you get to what you need to do. So, standalone, fantastic change. Loyal Badger Bear, fantastic change. Legion Rearguard, I feel like it's warranted because Aggro's so strong, but it'll be very, very... I think we're going to start seeing Aggro decks never used again, unless somebody kind of has this kind of creative idea. Be replacing Legion Rearguards with Teemos or something, or... yeah, I think what's going to happen is the no champion aggro decks are going to die, and you're going to start seeing a lot more aggro decks with champions coming back again. You're going to see Dravens, Fizzes, Teemos, and so on. So, kindly Tavern Keeper. Healing is part of Filiward's regional identity, but hasn't been as available to non-ramp decks as we like. A general usability boost for Tavern Keeper should make it appealing as a flex slot for a wider range of Filiward decks. So, oh, dude, this is going to be nuts. Give an ally 0 +2, but it's going to be going to +3. Wait, why does it say... Am I looking at this wrong? Let me zoom this in. Given like +2, so the power went from... Have they maybe not updated this yet in the tooltip? It says par 2 to 3. Am I losing my mind? Does it mean health? Like, obviously par is obviously in relation to the damage you do, but the elixir of iron always gives health. Am I going insane? I think that's what they mean. So if this is going to be a 1-cost burst spell, which gives you +3, or this is very, very strange. Have they maybe like... I think they've maybe not used the right elixir right now, because Tavern Keeper is an actual follower card, and they've put Elixir of Iron there. I think they've done that. They've made that wrong. I was getting so confused. I was getting hyped. I was like, wait, is a +0, +3 burst spell? Braum decks and Vladimir deck would just be absurd. I think they've put the wrong photo there. Tavern Keeper's an actual follower card, guys. So Deep Meditation. Okay, this is good. I feel like this definitely needs nerfed. I've seen a lot of Lee Sin decks with this, with the Dragonling, which gives you health back. I hate playing against these decks. So if you don't really know, cost 2 less if you cast 2 spells last round, and it makes you draw 2 other spells, making it literally cost 2. And it changing to 3. I feel again is going to bring a little bit of balance to potentially those super strong snowball decks. This is kind of that card which, whenever you draw it, you know, kind of 3 steps ahead of how how the game is going to be played out. And since it's a burst spell, and since it's super efficient in regards to draw potential, it can leave you, especially if you're playing maybe a non-draw heavy deck. It can leave you kind of like a little bit in the wilderness, staring at your opponent having 10 cards in their hand and you have 3, and it's just because he's played like 2 of these in a row. But yeah, I like this change as well. Very balanced. A Boom Crew Rookie, we know that he's getting changed from a 1 to 3 or from a 1 to 4 to 1 to 3. Good. Brood Awakening, I hate playing against Endurance Spiders, and I feel like Brood Awakening is a fantastic change. But it feels like every kind of meta. So I like that they're not just focusing in on one region, you know, so they're going, oh yeah, Endurance Spiders, a little bit strong, getting nerfed. Aggro, yeah, a little bit strong, getting nerfed. Demacia, Scouts, a little bit strong, getting nerfed. And they're not nerfing the entire region, and they're not nerfing the entire deck. They're just nerfing the things which need nerfed. They're nerfing the things which potentially are a little bit too strong. And I like that. They're not completely rinsing an entire region or an entire deck playstyle. They're just kind of making sure that things aren't being abused. And I think that's something we need to kind of really look at. So, Longtooth. What have they done to our boy Longtooth? Look at those teeth. Chum the Waters Fizz health 1 to 2. Yeah. So, I always felt like that Fizz decks were kind of lackluster in the fact that if you leveled up, you got a Longtooth. Because if I was playing against something like a Shadow Owl's deck, they're just going to Wither and Wheel, and he's dead. They're going to do File Feast, and he's dead. I'm playing against a Bilgewater deck. They're going to use Make It Rain, and he's dead. As simple as that. I'm playing against a Piltover deck. They're going to use Static Shock, and he's dead. So it means you have to invest more mana to kill him, and he does have Overwhelm as well. So that's always good. Monkey Idol, give Monkey Idol the potential to create another monkey should make the effect more meaningful and create more interesting and satisfying decisions around when to play it. Cool. So its health getting increased from 4 to 5 is actually pretty cool. I very rarely come against Monkey Idol decks and things like that, but I love it when I come against crazy stuff like this. So if you don't know the way Monkey Idol works, the round starts, you instantly deal 2 damage to the Monkey Idol, and then you summon a Powder Monkey, which is great. It's so good. I might actually make a video whenever this is released and try and make a pure Monkey Idol deck. So Slotbot, we're giving Slotbot simple stat boost to help get the reel spinning a bit more quickly. So his power is going from 0 to 1 and health from 3 to 4. All right, Slotbot's actually going to be kind of nuts. So round start, grant me +0, +1 for each card you draw last round, then shuffle my stats. I like this as well. Like the Monkey Idol and Slotbot are kind of like the meme decks, and decks which whenever you play against them and you get beaten by them, you're like, oh my god, I hated that, but that was actually so cool. So And then the watch list. Unyielding Spirit. Please, Riot, make it, I don't know. Make it fast spell? Make it a 9 cost? It definitely needs touched in some shape or form, I think. Pilfer goods and card stealing. Losing against your own cards when an opponent draws from your deck can be frustrating experience, especially if you're playing with a deck buffing failure effects. Pilfer goods is yeah. So I'm kind of torn on this. Pilfer goods. I love the fact that you can take cards from your enemy. I love that effect, but I do feel that it's very, very strong. I think they need to reduce the draw potential from it. They need to, you know, if they're taking 2 cards from my deck, and I maybe have a tracker, and I don't really know what's missing then, and I'm relying, I don't know. I feel like Pilfer goods definitely needs changed, not nerfed, but changed in some shape or form. I don't know. But then again, that's the heart of the cards, dudes. That's RNG. And then Nexus damage. Nexus damage, Rising Tides, thematics, and mechanics have significantly increased the amount of direct Nexus damage available to players. Yeah, 100% more than it's ever been. We've seen some problematic, potentially overloaded Nexus damage decks arise as a result. Aggro decks. You have like Vi decks. I've seen a nutty Gangplank deck the other day as well. And have some targeted adjustments in this patch aimed at making early damage more preventable. Good. Access to healing is another potential lever for the regions that boast it. And we've adjusted a few cards to provide better options. The scope of this issue is rather large, so we'll continue to monitor and the effect of the changes in this patch over time. I'm kind of torn on this as well. Like, Nexus damage is fantastic, and I like the playstyle. And I actually really don't like the fact that sometimes just because they have regen, they win. You know, if I'm playing against a Shadow Isles deck and I maybe I'm not even playing an aggro deck, I'm playing, I don't know, a Demacian deck or something, and or Bilgewater deck, and I do a lot of hard work to get them to maybe 6 Nexus damage. Then they drop a Withering Wheel. Then they drop an Undying Grasp. Then they drop a File Feast. Then they drop another Withering Wheel next turn. And then they're back up to like 15 health. It's just disgusting. And I feel like they maybe need to change that in some respect. Tell me what you guys think in the comments as well, if you've made it this far into the video, or this far into the patch notes. Karma Inez. Towards the end of the beta, dealing with... Alright, so we're just looking at Karma Inez. Karma, I feel that her getting changed with that extra cost might make her a little bit more balanced in some shape or form. She's still a super strong champion whenever she's enlightened, but I feel like Ez is pretty balanced as well. Like, early game, you can kind of get rid of him quite fast. And then that is kind of it, guys. Just rules and text clarity. After that, it's just the boring stuff. Personalization. We have this. We have this. And you never know. With this backing, the arcade backing and the sword and stuff, maybe we'll see Riven. That is Riven's sword. Maybe we can see Riven making an appearance in Legends of Runeterra very soon. That would be kind of nuts. But if you guys enjoyed the video, as always, please hit that like button below. It takes 2 seconds to like a video, guys, and stay up to date with all the deck highlight videos that I'm bringing to you guys on a pretty damn regular basis. I haven't dropped the deck highlight video in a couple of days because I knew that 1.2 was hitting soon, and I wanted to kind of the deck highlights and the content that I put out there to be fresh and not be outdated within like 2 days, 3 days. So that's why I'm not lazy. And remember, guys, if you are new here, subscribe and turn notifications on. Thank you very, very, very much. But until next time, bros, take it easy, peace out, and good luck on the Rift.
Sure, oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my kite, babe. I can hear your laughter come.